Okay, now I definitely got to make this quick. Nature, neutral, and neutered. It's all the same thing. So, the natural nature, no, the natural nature of the womb and everything, that includes man. That means if the Y is disappearing from the V, the linear, that means the penis, the Y chromosome is being dissipated, being retrograded. Thus, the clitoris is being retrograded, coming into a dissolution state. So, thus, now there's no distinction, but there's no physical distinction by any gender. Now we understand this gender neutralization because they can only experience it in this physical realm, not in the energy magnetic field. Oh, baby, now we're talking about something because that's the vibrational field. So now you do not make physical children. You don't mate physically, you mate energetically wise with vibration. And from that vibration comes another vibration. So we have to understand then thus what is the masculine and what is the Fe. Fe is iron. It's also Phi, then what? Male. The male is the mass, but also we're twin flames separated by what? Gender. So we're both encased in the mass, which is this flesh, and the mass of the human brain, which is the hued brain. And now when the baby is first being born, the fetus, right? Well, not born, but when it's being formulated, this is why you have to know nature. What happens? The pineal gland is in the inside, but then you have down here, right? But the brain then folds in around the pineal gland. So when we look at the character Jesus, that thorn on the head is only a representation of the physical brain enclosing the pineal gland like a freaking fist, crucifying it. And the cross is nothing but the body. So the yoni, the Y on the Y, which is the linear line attached to the V, which is a symbol for velocity formula, is on what? The I. And the I, in its natural state, is in a neutered state. This is why the chaos beings were what? Gender neutral. You just seen both, male and female. So now when we look at a snake and a frog, the only difference would be the legs on the frog, because if you took the legs off the frog, wouldn't that look like a snake up at the head? Oh, baby, come on, let's get it. So the snake then thus would be a representation of the penis, and then the frog would be a representation of the clitoris. I'm going to let you know about your divine feminine self, because you are that God force. So God can only know itself through what it recollects, and that is the collective. So the collective is the recollecting, and that, you understand where I'm coming from? So God can't know itself outside of its creations. So you as the woman, you can't know yourself. This is why it's only 10% of the masculine is going to make it through this shift, because they are the mirror for the divine feminine. I'm trying to tell y'all. So now, hold up. Do I got time? Okay. Now, remember when I said I'm gonna give a. So this is the Yoni class. Now I just explained that. Now let's hurry up and take it back to Genesis, because first, to have a Genesis, you have to have a revelation. So there was a revelation. Now we're back. Now we're in Genesis, right? Okay. Now dig this. Let us make them in our image. Well, that's talking about the white blood cell. The white blood cell has no shape to it. So the white blood cell can be shaped, and the representation outside of us that represents the white blood cell is the moon. Now, if we take the sun, well, what we think is the sun, right? The sun represents the yolk in the egg, right? Now, that's orange or yellow, right? Okay, that represents the sun. So if we break that egg open, which is actually the U, and then a U on top, which is a U, and you turn it upside down, it's an N. It forms an egg. But what is the egg yolk? Egg yolk is the unmatured. The yolk is the unmatured thing, in the egg. When you crack that open, that's the yolk being spilled, the semen out of the egg, right? Fertilizing the egg, and they come out premature. We're the children. We're the yolk spilled out in this physical illusion realm. So it's coming to a dissolution of that. And we have to understand, nothing comes from above. That frequency you're talking about comes from up, 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 up. This is why Amit, the great devourer, that quadruple blackness that you just can't see, just devouring. Why is it devouring the bottom three chakras? Because they represent the physical. And then when this emanation, right? And this emanation, which is the animation, right? Of the frequency that's coming up, the bottom three chakras devour that. And then it never reaches the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, which is where that frequency is supposed to be going. This is why Amit is devouring those bottom three chakras, so nothing gets in the way of blocking. And that is called blockages, which is what? The block ages. So when you crack an egg, you make a mess. It's spillage, it's semen running out, so it's mess ages. The message is the mess ages. Mess ages. And this frequency is now coming up, and this is why you must mummify yourself in the physical. And this is what I have a practice which I use with my 2 Vega nerves that moves those bottom 3 chakras out of the way. And you can do that. You can do that. I'm here to teach you how to do that, because the revelation is now, and the revelation is the revolution that brings us into the Genesis so we can be the next us. But we're acting like children with our spirituality because we don't know what we're dealing with. We're dealing with timeline shares. Sharing space on the timeline experience, right? It has a beginning and an end. But if we're beings, we're infinite beings, we have no beginning, we have no end. So you have no gender, but you allowing these people, these linear beings, these low vibrational frequencies to dictate to you that you're the brain, that you're the sickle, the sickle cell. This is a